Good morning, guys. This is Shay with Just a Touch of Faith, and I am coming to you this morning from my prayer closet. I'm sorry that I'm so close to the phone, but it doesn't matter. I am coming on today to encourage someone. I hope this encourage someone. Today is February 18th, 2023. And last year, February 18th, 2022, my life drastically changed. Something that I had been so comfortable in for so many years changed. But I'm here to say God is still God. He's still an awesome God. He's still worthy to be praised, okay? Last year on February 18th, I would say I am not the same person that I was back then. Last year, I was an angry person. I was full of emotions. I would probably say I was depressed a little. I had an attitude last year. But fast forward to today, I am happy. I have peace. I have joy. I have a closer relationship with God. All of my life, I've known God, or what I thought to be as knowing God. I'm going to just give you a back story on my life. I grew up as a child. I was raised by my aunt. My parents passed away when I was very young. Before the age of 5, they passed away. So my aunt raised my sister and my brother along with myself. And we grew up in a home. We went to church. We went to Bible study. We even had Bible study at home. When I became an adult, had my own children, when I built my house, we had Bible study in my house. Me, my 2 children, and my husband. I don't know if I ever told you all, but I have two daughters. I have a teenage daughter and I have a young daughter. And they're 8 years apart. They're 8 years apart. My children. So we had Bible study in my home, and what I would say was a good life. My husband and I both have good careers. You know, I never thought that life would happen to me, to be honest. I never thought life would happen because so much was going right as I thought. Now, mind you, my husband and I would argue a lot with my husband of things that I wanted to be in control of, okay? And that's how that was. So, last year when life happened, I didn't expect it to go the way it did, but it did, and that's that. So, fast forward to this year, I am more grounded in God than what I've ever been. You know, what I thought I knew was just a thought. When you say, God used me, like if you're at church and, your pastor tell you, ask God to use you or whatever the case may be, and you'll be like, God used me. Let me tell you something. If you're not ready for God to use you, don't let them words come out of your mouth. Because only the strong will survive. Okay? I never thought I would be where I am today. I always knew that, God has a purpose for everyone. I always knew that. I didn't know what my purpose was in life. I wasn't too interested in finding it, to be honest with you. Just keeping it real. But I was soon to learn what was my purpose in life, okay? Well, the enemy came into my home, and I was one of the last people to find out. He comes in through anybody, okay? He'll come in through your children. If you allow the enemy to come in, he's going to do just that. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I was in my home, and this song came into my mind. I told you all about it on another video. It was Standing in the Gap by Bobby Mason. And I hadn't heard the song in years. It had been years since I heard the song. And so I put it on YouTube, and as I Googled it, I got some more information, and something that stuck out with me was the cover of her song, Standing in the Gap. The cover of the album was the Finest Hour. So I was like, God, what is the finest hour? So I Googled the finest hour, and it was based on the Navy SEALs. There was a storm in the water, and it was based on this true story, but it happened on February the 18th. I'm sorry, guys, for my hair. It happened on February 18th, 1950 something. I can't quite remember the year, and I do apologize that I'm so close to my phone, but it's okay. Y'all just need to get the message. So, when I finally watched The Finest Hour, it made sense to me, and God had been just giving me little nuggets here and there, just giving me piece by piece of what He wanted me to know. So, with that being said, when I saw that it happened on February 18th, it caught my attention. And if you have time, just go and watch the movie. Like I said, it was based on a true story. And yeah, basically that's that. So at the end of last year, I switched over to a different department on my job, and this team that I'm on now is the Warriors team. And I had been reading this book, and when I first opened up the prayer book, it said that you are in war, and it says that the army of God always wins. So it was like everything was just coinciding with what God had told me, with what was going on in my life at that time. It was all just coinciding with everything, right? So that was that. And on yesterday morning, my daughter that's in high school, she plays softball. So I was in my prayer closet yesterday morning, early morning, like I am every day, and I was just praying, asking God to, let her have a good game because she loved the game of softball. And whatever else it was, I was praying for her and over my other daughter, and the rest of the kids at school. Whatever it was, I was praying over them. When I went to bring my daughters to school, I was telling my oldest daughter, I said, I said, I pray that you have a good game, and she looked at me. She was like, yeah, Mom, I prayed the same thing, or whatever it was she said. I can't quite remember verbatim what it was she said. Well, last night while we were at her softball game, she and this other young lady was going to catch a ball, and the other young lady had on one of the face masks, but my daughter didn't have a face mask on. She doesn't wear one. And they collided. And now the face mask, that face mask is metal. And mind you, two girls that's running into each other fast, it brought some power. It brought some damage, I should say. So my daughter has this big, like, abrasion underneath her eye. She got something right here and something over here on her forehead. And she lost consciousness for a minute or so while she was on the field. So I took her to the ER, and she had them to do a CAT scan. Well, the doctor did a CAT scan on her. The radiologist did a CAT scan on her. And when the doctor came back in the room last night, he said she doesn't have any broken bones in her face. She doesn't have any broken bones in her head. She doesn't have a concussion. So when the doctor left out, I looked at my daughter and I told her, I said, baby, God did it again. And I mean, she is of age. She know what that means. But she doesn't know to the extent of what her mom meant when I said God did it again. I meant God answered my prayer again. When you pray and you cover your children, my prayer every day is that God protects my children from danger seen and unseen. I cover them with the blood of Jesus every day. You just have to. You have to, because you're not around them. And even if you are around them, who are you? Who are you? We can only do so much. We need God in everything. We need God every day of our lives. So that's why it's important to cover the kids, to cover your children every day. If that young lady that had that face mask on, if she would have hit my daughter an inch up, my daughter could have lost her eye. She could have been blind this morning. Who knows? She could have been having some, whatever it was. It could have been, the outcome could have been totally different from what it is today. So when I looked at her and I told her God did it again, that's what I mean. God answered my prayer yet again. So I'm saying, whatever it is that you are praying and asking God for, whatever it is that you're trusting God for, don't give up. Don't give up. If God doesn't answer your prayer the exact way that you expect him to answer it, know that the outcome is still going to be perfect. We were praying for a good game. I thought, we would have came home and everything would have been fine, and she would have done well like she do, and the game would have been good. But God answered that prayer totally different. And I think that he did that to show himself, um to show himself, because it could have been anybody else child out there that got hurt last night, but it was my child. And I have been on this 10-day fast. It started on February the 8th and it ended on the 17th. It ended yesterday. And been trusting and believing in God for some things, okay? And I know that God is going to come through. When he's going to come through, I don't know, but I know that he's going to come through, because he's God. And nothing is too hard. Nothing is impossible for him. He wanted to show me that he is still God. In the midst of what I've been praying for a whole year, he wanted to show me that he is still God. He wanted to show me last night that in the final hour, final hour of my year, he wanted to show me that he is still God. What I was praying for, he came through. A mother's prayer, he came through. Yesterday morning, I was bringing my youngest daughter to school, and I'm gonna just go back a couple of days ago. I was praying to God one night, a couple of days ago, maybe Tuesday night or Wednesday night, I'm not sure. But I was praying to God, and I said, God, the Bible tells us to test the spirit. So I was like, God, I said, whatever it was I was praying to God for, I said, God, when it is time for this to come to pass, I said, could you just show me some butterflies? The Holy Spirit brought in my spirit butterflies. And I'm like, it's not even springtime yet. But I'm like, God, show me some butterflies, letting me know that that time is here or nearing. I kid you not, the very next day I was watching something, and right when it came on, the clip came on, there was 27 butterflies. I counted 27 butterflies. If you don't believe me, take me back to God. I don't have anything to lie to you all about. Y'all, that were 27 butterflies. I was in awe. When I asked God, I wasn't specific. I didn't say, God, show me a red butterfly, show me a yellow butterfly, show me a yellow butterfly, show me a white butterfly. I didn't say any of that. I just said, Lord, show me butterflies. Show me a butterfly. And that's exactly what God did. God showed me 27 butterflies. Yesterday morning, when I was bringing my younger daughter to school, to catch the bus, I parked on this gravel, waiting for the bus to pass, parked on some rocks. And I looked over. Something just told me to look over, because the wind was blowing, and I thought it was a leaf. And it was something that was just blowing backward and forward. And I looked again, it caught my attention again, and I was like, I know that's not a butterfly. So I get out of my car. My kid was still in the car. Her and some other children were still in the car. And I got out of my car and I went up to it, and sure enough, it was a butterfly. And all I can do is start laughing. I was like, God, just look at you. Just look at you. So God is faithful. All you have to do is ask. Get a relationship with God. Ask Him. And be still and know that He is God. Know that He has your best interest at heart. Take to heart Jeremiah 29:11, for you know the plans that He have for you. Take that verse and apply it to your everyday life. Apply it to your everyday life, because the Word of God tells us that before we were even in our mother's womb, God knew us. Before we were even formed, He knew us. So nothing that we go through is a surprise to God. Nothing. Nothing at all is a surprise to God. And if God has chosen you, the Bible says many are called, but few are chosen. If God has chosen you, He knows that you are the perfect one to break the generational curses, to speak life into your family. I've been beat to the point where I cannot be beat anymore, I don't think. This past year, I have been beat with so much of spiritual warfare. I don't even know how I'm still standing if it wasn't for God. If it wasn't for God, I just don't know. I don't know. I would have took matters into my own hands and everything would have been messed up. Everything would have been messed up. So I'm just here today to remind you, if God haven't answered your prayer for you in the way that you want Him to, don't give up. Keep praying. Keep pushing. He is God. He is an awesome God. He's worthy to be praised. He will not go back on what His promise is. If He promised you something, you had better guarantee that you're going to get it. He's not like man. He's not going to go back on His word. Take Him at His word and what He promised you. He wants us to do that. He wants us to come to Him boldly. So if He doesn't answer your prayer the exact way that you're expecting Him to answer it for you, if He doesn't come through in the time that you're expecting Him to come through for you, remember one thing: God's timing is not our timing. His timing is just not our timing. We just got to be still and know that He's God, you know. But don't lose your trust. Let me tell you something. The things that I've been praying to God for, by God saving my daughter's eye last night, by God saving her vision last night, by her just having a gush underneath her eye, you know, scrapes, bruises. This morning, well, yesterday she was swollen. Her whole face was swollen around her eye. But God showed me that He is still God. He showed me that He is still God. I can be somewhere this morning crying. My child could be somewhere in a hospital room. You know, that could have turned out totally opposite of the way it turned out. But God. And like I said, it could have happened to anybody else, child. But God seen fit that it happened this way. Not to hurt my child, not to hurt my daughter, but he wanted to show himself. You know, he wanted to show himself. When I look back from February 18th, 22 to February 18th, 2023, what I can say is God shows himself. His hand is not too short where he can't save. So I hope this encouraged you all to not give up, to lean on God, to have faith. Y'all, we gotta have faith. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. That's Hebrews 11:1. No. That's not Hebrews 11:1. I'm sorry. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Is Hebrews 11:1. But it is impossible to have faith and not trust God. So that's all I have for you all right now. Give God praise. Give God praise. Thank him. He's coming. He's coming. Have a good day, y'all. Bye.